My names are Worlu Ekelechi Benjamin Oku Worlu. I'm a candidate of the Labour Party representing the Rivers East Senatorial Zone in the Rivers State. I want to thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to the people of Rivers East, the people of Rivers State, the people of Niger Delta, and the larger Nigerian audience. Our nation has gone through tremendous challenges. But before I go through the challenges that our nation faces today, let me just take you into my experience and who I am and why I've decided to come into politics. I was a career officer of the Defense Intelligence Agency. The Defense Intelligence Agency is responsible for military intelligence in and outside Nigeria. And I went through the ropes, retiring as the director in the Defense Intelligence Agency. I'm also a member of the 13th course in the National Defense College. And I've taught in the Defense Intelligence College where so many officers from the services, Army, Navy, Air Force, and paramilitary are trained. I retired as the Director of Psychological Operations. I was one of those who set up Operation Safe Corridor, which is where terrorists of Boko Haram, ISWAP, and Sariji are de-radicalized in Gombe. These are part of the things we did while we were in the Defense Intelligence Agency. On retirement in 2021, I felt that our experiences must come to bear to salvage our nation, a nation that we all swore to defend with our blood. And that oath of allegiance to the Federation, to the collective security of the Nigerian people, has motivated me to come into politics on retirement. And having looked at the existing political parties, APC, PDP, and a host of others, I felt that the Labour Party has solutions, verifiable solutions, given the antecedents of our presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. So I was motivated for the love of country to join the Labour Party. I have decided that Nigeria, the Nigerian project, is a workable project, and that we must ensure that we don't allow Nigeria to collapse. We did that in where we served the security services of this nation. We have also seen that the existing security architecture of this nation cannot sustain the numerous challenges that we face as a nation. And so I believe that with proper representation, people with capacity, that we can begin to address the numerous challenges that we face as a people and as a nation. Like the late Nelson Mandela of South Africa said, he said, the day Nigeria gets it right, Africa will get it right. For every 10 black men you see on the streets of New York, 6 are Nigerians. That will tell you that the inscrutable design of providence have bequeathed to Nigerians the responsibilities to lead Africa. We are giants of Africa. But have we lived the providential responsibility to maintain our giantry and see Africa sail in the Committee of Nations, to be a continent where the Negroid race is respected? The answer is absolutely no. And that is one of the motivating factors that brought me into politics. I believe, by God's willing, that I become a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We will, in the House of the nation, which is the Senate of the Federal Republic, make legislation for good governance, bring about legislation to bring a nation where the son of nobody or daughters of nobody does not need to know anybody to become somebody. A nation where there is equity, fairness, and justice. A nation where we will devote our life to protect. A nation where we become servant leaders of the people. A nation where avarice, corruption, primitive accumulation will not be allowed to be our driving force. A nation where we will love ourselves in brotherhood. A nation that we will package that Africans, wherever they may be, will be proud to know that we are Nigerians and that we are leaders of Africa. What am I going to do that is different from what others have done in governance? Our principal, Mr. Peter Obi, has said that Nigeria will move from consumption to production. We have become a nation of consumers. It's unacceptable. China, 30, 40 years ago, was not as developed as Nigeria was. We were past with Indonesia, Singapore. We're even better than them. But today, we have remained a third world country. Or what people, if the people want to be nice to us, they say developing country. These ones have become first world countries. Why can't we? God has endowed us with human capital, endowed us with capable human beings in all the six geopolitical zones that is Nigeria. And yet, we have not been able to move our nation to the next level. Our founding fathers laid the foundation. But what has the succeeding generations done? We have squandered what they have done for all of us. That is the motivating spirit why I decided that I was going to run for political office. So that we can salvage this nation. Every person, every geopolitical zone in this country, the six geopolitical zones, have grievances against the Federation. So we will advocate that we should come together as members of the six geopolitical zones to the House of the Nigerian people in the Senate, in the National Assembly, and ask each zone, please, what is your grievances against this federation? Let's table each and everybody's grievances against this federation, so that we, as brothers and sisters, can sit down and look at the challenges and the problems of the federation that has made this federation unworkable, and then address the issues to the satisfaction of all and sundry, so that Nigeria can work. The project of Nigeria can work, so that Nigeria can move from developing nation, a potential and latent nation, to a nation whose potentiality is seen and felt the world over. A Nigeria that all Africans should be proud of. A nation where our sons and daughters will not be on the streets. A nation where criminality will not be condoned. A nation where the ethos of progress and development becomes the mattress for the people of Nigeria. We will, God willing, in the National Assembly, bring about a proper and balanced federation of Nigeria. Today, so many people are afraid of the armed forces because they see the armed forces as an occupation force. No, your armed forces and security forces are not occupation force. They are the forces of the Nigerian people. We must embrace them because it's the taxpayers' money that clothes them, pays their salary, pays their pensions. Today, till I die, the Ministry of Defense will continue to pay my allowances, free medical for me and my family. So I owe Nigeria loyalty. So we will restructure the security architecture of this country so that they will properly represent the people of Nigeria. We want servant leadership. The armed forces are there to protect, the armed forces and the security services are there to protect the Nigerian people. We will ensure that the Nigerian people accept them because they are your instruments of stability. We will also ensure that this monoculturalism that has prevailed so long, that Nigeria, that produces crude oil, becomes a net importer of refined products. Does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. We produce crude oil and sell $100 per barrel. No value added. We import finished products to this country at a higher cost to the Nigerian people. We will ensure that we rehabilitate our refineries, we build new ones, we will add value to our crude. We will get petrol, that PMS, we will get DPK, we will get diesel, we will get petroleum, and several byproducts will be converted with value that will add to the economic prosperity of Nigeria. Rather than becoming rent economy, we will discourage this sense of primitive accumulation of wealth. The elites must be responsive to the people. Thank God for INEC, that INEC had said that they will conduct free and fair election. And thank God to the Commander-in-Chief, President Muhammadu Buhari, who had said that the election in 2023 will be a representation of the voice of the people of Nigeria. That is the last living legacy he wants to leave for the people of Nigeria. The days are gone when people will sit in the comfort of their offices or in the comfort of their immunities to write results, snatch ballot boxes, and declare themselves leaders of the people. The Nigerian people are tired of this, bribery and corruption that people give bag of rice, give 5 naira, 10,000, 5,000 to people so that they can vote them into office. Nigerians are tired because this money they have collected over the years have not helped anybody. So I want to urge all electorates to vote their conscience, to vote right. Because if we get it wrong in 2023, I can bet you Nigeria will enter the debacle of anarchy, strife, and conflict. This we must avoid by using our PVC rights and vote right for strong leadership, verifiable leadership. And Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of Labour Party, embodies a new Nigeria. Peter Obi is not president of the Southeast. He's not president of any geopolitical zone, but he's the president and candidate of all the political zones of Nigeria. Peter Obi is a Nigerian project. And I, Worlu Okuolu, will represent the people of Rivers East, will represent the people of Rivers State, will represent the people of Niger Delta, and ultimately the people of Nigeria. We will represent them in good conscience to drive Nigeria to a system of equity, fairness, justice, where all will have common citizenship. We will ensure that good governance will entail political leaders to be loyal to the electorates. We will ensure that there is security in this country. Things of Boko Haram, ISWAP, Sarudim, kidnapping will be a thing of the past. Because we will give stronger attention to the security of the nation by creating a new security architecture for the nation. We will ensure that the people own their security services, that the people are in the commanding heights of their security. Because security is local. The armed robber, the petty thief, the kidnapper is within communities. The communities knows it. So we have to decentralize the security system so that the people will have control of their security. No section of Nigeria is poor. None. The 6 geopolitical zones are rich. In fact, we in the South think because of petroleum and gas that we are rich. We are the basket of the nation. No, the North is even richer than the South. They have enormous natural resources, solid minerals. Today, by the special grace of God, they have discovered oil and gas in the north. So, all and sundry, both south, north, will now know that we have common citizenship, common federation. We all work collectively, using God-given resources to develop our nation. And I, God willing, as a senator of the Federal Republic, will ensure that like-minds across the Federation will come together to say enough is enough to the thievery, to primitive accumulators, and bond ourselves for a positive Nigerian project. I will commit myself to everything that will make Nigeria a progressive nation. I will reach out to my friends in the West, my friends in the Middle Belt, my friends in the Core North, my friends in the East. We will come together in brotherhood, in unity, to ensure that the God-given talent of the Nigerian people, the God-given resources of Nigerian people, is used to develop the Nigerian nation. And but we cannot do this without peace and harmony. Therefore, we must put in place, through legislation, every existential mechanism to enthrone the rule of law. A restructured and balanced federation. An economy from consumption to production. A Nigeria that all Nigerians should be proud of in the Committee of Nations. A Nigeria where the son of nobody becomes somebody without knowing anybody. And that is the Nigeria that I swore as an intelligence officer before my retirement from the Defense Intelligence Agency to uphold. I will uphold it as a representative of the Rivers people in the Nigerian Senate. Now, you begin to ask, why are there militias all over the place? Why are there armed robbery all over the place? Why are there insecurity all over the place? This is because our youths have seen the hopelessness of our political leaders. So they have taken the laws into their hands. We will ensure that the youths come back to embrace Nigeria, embrace common citizenship, because we will provide them jobs. There will be human capital development. The Labour Party will ensure there is human capital development, infrastructural development. Give Nigerians pride of place in the Committee of Nations. Ensure that there is unity in diversity. Make Nigerians believe once again in the project Nigeria. These are the things we can do using legislation in the National Assembly. So I urge all Nigerians to use their PVC that day and speak in one voice and say, enough is enough. Let's vote Labour Party. If for 4 years Labour Party has not done well, vote them out. Let us not indulge in democratic anarchy. You would say that, well, we can vote Labour Party president and we can vote other parties to represent in other legislative chambers. But that will bring about legislative anarchy. Because our constitution does not allow for independent candidacy. That day, you will not see my face, you will not see Mr. Peter Obi's face in the ballot. What you see is the symbol of Labour Party. Papa, Mama, Pikin. You also see umbrella, which is PDP. You see the broom, APC, and so many other symbols of political parties. The system made it in such a way that when politicians elected in authority fails, they hold their parties responsible. And that is why every party has a manifesto, which is the contract between the party and the Nigerian people. So if you vote P2B, you don't vote a corresponding National Assembly of Labour Party to back P2B. P2B will become ineffective because every legislation that must be addressed in the National Assembly must be decided by the caucuses of the different political parties. And marching orders are given to their representatives to implement the decisions of the political party. But if we had independent candidacy, it would have been very easy for legislators to exercise independence. But when you have to fly or go into election under party platform, you must obey party directives because party is supreme. Therefore, to avoid democratic anarchy, vote Labour all the way so that Labour president will be able to implement Labour manifesto. Because APC, PDP will not support a Labour manifesto because that is not their contract with the Nigerian people. So if P2B fails, you hold Labour Party responsible. So back him by ensuring that Labour candidates are elected in the National Assembly so that they can back legislation which is outlined in the Labour manifesto. And I can assure you that as long as we don't have independent candidacy, that legislators will vote in line with party directives. But like I said, Labour Party is new. They're asking for the mandate of the Nigerian people. Therefore, give Labour Party a chance. P2B has not paid several billions to get tickets from Labour Party. APC and PDP, we know everything that happened in their primaries. It was the man who has the highest pay packet that won the primaries. And what do you think, after they spent billions to win tickets, what do you think they were going to do when they get to the seat of governance? The Labour Party has been embraced by the Nigerian people. Labour Party does not give shishi, they do not take shishi. Everything that is done to advance the cause of Labour in the Nigerian political firmament is done by the Nigerian people. The youth of Nigeria have risen up to finance Labour Party because they know that Labour Party has not spent money to bribe anybody. So Labour Party is obligated to do the bidding of the Nigerian people. So coming back home in Rivers State, I want to use this opportunity to commend our governor, Barrister Yesu Wike. He has done more than any governor in the development of Rivers State. We can be proud of his infrastructural developments. But Labour Party would do better if given the opportunity. Our gubernatorial candidate, Comrade Mrs. Beatrice Itubo, who is also the chairperson of Labour Congress in Rivers State, has a comprehensive policy to address human capital deficits, comprehensive and holistic development of Rivers State. Not only building industry from where Governor Wike stopped, but she will build industries in Rivers State. This problem of unemployment will be solved. Pensioners will be paid. Civil servants will be promoted. Rivers State would go to a higher level of development. So I urge the electorates to fill in the gaps of the deficiencies of the PDP and APC in Rivers State and ensure that Labour Party candidate, Her Excellency Beatrice Itubo, is elected as governor of Rivers State to continue to a higher crescendo where the PDP and APC failed to address. And of course, with the Labour manifesto as initiated by His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, it will be a key down for all elective persons under the platform of Labour to cue into those manifestos and implement in the spirit and letter of that manifesto for the benefit of the Nigerian people. We sincerely appeal to all Nigerians to put Labour Party in prayers and physically on 25th February voting Labour candidates at all levels. Because the salvation of Nigeria lies with Labour leadership. Therefore, I, as a senator, God's willing, will ensure that Labour manifestos are implemented. We will ensure that there will be security in the nation. We will ensure human capital development. We will ensure good governance. We will ensure that the armed forces and the security services of the Federation are restructured and given back to the people of Nigeria. Because the armed forces and security services belong to the people of Nigeria. Those misconceptions of army of occupation will become things of the past. Because the armed forces of Nigeria are not army of occupation. They are the armed forces of the people of Nigeria. Because it's the taxpayer that funds them. We will look at the security architecture of Nigeria. We will redesign it for the benefit of the Nigerian people, to make Nigeria a superpower in Africa. We resonate ECOMOG and make what it is in West Africa. We will lead West Africa. We will lead Africa. And Africans are willing to follow us, only if we can provide the needed leadership. And we in the National Assembly will provide that legislation that will redirect the God-given talent of the Nigerian people and bring Nigeria to the crescendo of African leadership. So, trust us with your vote. Vote right with your PVC. It is a contract between Labour Party and the people of Nigeria. We will not disappoint you. God being our witness, that we will do well for the people of Nigeria, because the obedient movement, the Labour movement, is a Nigerian project. It's a movement that does not need to give shishi, 1 naira to anybody for people to support. It's the only political party that have mass followership. A political party that does not bribe anybody because they know they have a contract with the Nigerian people to elevate Nigeria to a crescendo of development. Moving away from consumption to production and eliminating primitive accumulation of wealth that has become prevalent, and bring about servant leadership of the Nigerian people. Ensure that the Nigerian people own us as the elected representative. We will obey them, we will listen to them, and all our policies is devoted for their development. And use PVC in the coming election to say, enough is enough. Thank you so very much, and may God bless the people of Rivers East. May God bless Rivers State. May God bless the people of Niger Delta. And may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you so very much, and it's a pleasure coming to speak to the people of Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless.